Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. How are y'all doing? Are you ready for another live? I'm verifying on my TV if you can hear me. Should know in 8 seconds if you can hear me. Hello, hello. You can hear me. Awesome. What do you want to talk about today? What is going on in the villages? I am looking live. I just want to make sure the sound sounds like I'm live. Hello, JLo. Welcome to the live and Cruising with the Olds, the Village's Prophet. How are y'all doing? The gang is all here. Cruising with the Olds. Happy Sunday. You can hear me. Thank you, William. William Callahan. Thanks for joining. JLo can hear me. Awesome. What do you want to talk about today? How about some brand new cottage homes? Is anybody excited about cottage homes in Edenfield? You should be doing cartwheels around the parking lot. Cottage homes are here. Everybody wants to buy a cottage home. Looks like they sold 5 of them already. Six cottage homes are sold. Are you excited? And this is a cottage home lot. And right across the street are designer home lots. And you can see they're virtually the same size. That's why people like cottage homes, because they're built on a lot that's similar size to a designer home, but they're smaller square feet. So is anybody excited for this designer home right here, this Pebble Beach? Awesome home, 2-car garage. Now's the time to jump in and get a cottage home. 1,448 square feet, 2-car garage, wood framed home. Why not? Open kitchen, quartz countertops. I thought JLo wanted to buy a cottage home. Here you go, JLo. Are you buying a cottage home? Ooh, Philly. The Packers lost yesterday too. The Packers folded, I heard, in the fourth quarter. They're up 25. Hi, JLo. Hi, Jeff. Happy Sunday. Philadelphia is doing good again. The Packers folded. I cannot believe. I cannot believe it. Is anybody excited about cottage homes? No, or we don't. Let's talk about football. No need to talk about football. The Green Bay Packers are out because of the epic collapse. Why not, J-Lo? You want a cottage home in this neighborhood, don't you? You have excellent cottage homes. Lots of people like them. Why not, J-Lo? If you don't want a cottage home in that neighborhood, where do you want one? Hmm. You could get one in this neighborhood. You could buy a cottage home, hopefully in this neighborhood, in LaGrange. I still have a hard time believing these are going to be cottage homes, though. But the bond is 41,000. That's what a cottage home is. The question is, I'm afraid the villages are going to be playing tricks with me regarding this neighborhood. It's a $41,000 bond. Normally, that is a cottage home bond. But could they be sneaky and change the bond amount? And this could be potentially a courtyard villa neighborhood. Why do I have a suspecting feeling this is going to be courtyard villas? And the bond is going to be just kind of wacky, because normally courtyard villa bonds $38,000, but this bond is 41. Sunkissed. I didn't think that was such a great model, is it? At some point, the fourth quarter, Green Bay had a 95% chance to win, and we ended up failing. My God. Another colossal collapse by the Packers. When are you coming to the Villages, J-Lo? What is going on? When are you going to be there? Maybe you're one of those maybe you're a young chick and you don't want to live in the Villages yet. Is that what it is? But this neighborhood here, I just want to go on record and say this neighborhood here in LaGrange is a mystery. The bond says it's cottage homes. The layout and the design of the neighborhood tells me that it's going to be courtyard villas. Is it possible they put courtyard villas in here with a slightly higher bond than normal? I don't know. This is a mystery. Very mysterious to me. This neighborhood here. That's why I'm leery about saying this is going to be cottage homes, because it does not look like a cottage home neighborhood. It looks to me like it could be courtyard villas or veranda homes, because veranda homes, I've already seen veranda home neighborhoods with $44,000 bonds, but this is $41,000. That should be a cottage home. Maybe somebody already knows, and they can tell me what they are. Thanks for joining. My name is Tim. How are y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Anyway, somebody asked about a Sunkissed. Are they popular? Seabreeze. I like the Seabreeze myself. Pebble Beach. Paradise Found. Is this a Sunkissed? Pebble Beach. Here's a Sunkissed. Let's look at the floor plan of the Sunkissed. It's not going to be there, is it? What is the floor plan of the Sunkissed? What is the floor plan? Share this tab. Let's look at the floor plan. 1,392 square feet, 2-car garage. It's a wood framed home. First thing I see is that it has a tiny lanai, and the garage is 19 feet 6 inches, so the garage is pretty shallow. Anything over 20 feet is a bonus. Sunkissed. This is the same design as most of the cottage homes they built in the north. When I do open home tour videos, this is the cottage homes of the north of yesteryear. This is a design. You can look on my playlist of cottage home open home tour videos, and all of those cottage homes in the north look like this. So I'm not sure that I'm particularly wild about this floor plan. I like other floor plans. I like the Seabreeze better, and the Anchor. I just think they build fewer of them. I think they build fewer Sunkissed models. That's what I think. Here's the Anchor. I actually like this floor plan. This is a 21-foot deep garage on the Anchor. It's very similar though when you look at it. And then I also like the Sunkissed. I think they build fewer of them. Is there any green trailers parked in LaGrange yet? Green trailers. I missed that one. New cottage homes looks nice. Is the far enough from the turnpike noise? Thank you, Elkin Outdoors. Elkin. I was looking at a similar home in Oak Hollow, but I will hear prison noise. I don't think you're going to hear the prison. And somebody who lives down there, like the prophet, can. Yeah, you cannot have a 1-ton truck. You can have a 3/4 ton. Oh, San Francisco. Awesome. Let's take a look at 156V043. 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 $290,000 in Paradise Found. 156V043. Let's see the location. Share this tab. Oh, it's got a north-facing lanai. For me, it's not far enough away. But everybody has their own level of sensitivity for noise. The lanai is facing north. I think if you're going to live in LaGrange, I think you want a south-facing lanai. I think you're going to hear less of the turnpike noise. Really, in any one of these neighborhoods, I'm thinking you want west-facing or southwest-facing, anything away from the turnpike noise. That's what I think. I would even almost think that even in LaGrange, you'd want southwest, west-facing lanais just to. But look at this. Look at where the blue dot is, and look at where the turnpike is. You can throw a stone and hit the turnpike. For me, it's no. Update coming. Are you in the villages yet, Prophet? By the way, F350. I have never heard any noise from Coleman. Yeah, I don't think you're going to hear noise. I hear people talk about maybe the lights. They have very long, high towers of lights. The trailers that carry the walls. Yeah, nobody's ever complained about the noise of the prison, but I have heard people say they do see lights at night. You can throw a stone. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I don't know. To me, that's too close. For me, I think Edenfield is too close. For me, I'm staying in LaGrange. Actually, I'm probably trying to find a pre-owned home in Water's Edge or Shady Brook. I'll be honest with you. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking north of Eastport is not for me. I'm just saying. Look at all the pre-owned homes going on the market here in Water's Edge now. Right here. I'll be looking at this Eagle C. You're looking at There's Water's Edge. I'm staying south of the town square. If I'm buying south of the town square. Final answer. But then I heard some people talking about they can hear the football stadium, the high school football stadium announcements. They hear it loud and clear over here in Moultrie Creek and Shady Brook. And this goes exactly to my point, why I'm waiting to buy into a new area, because I just don't know. I just don't know what is out there. Just when you think you have the map figured out, you hear people talk about announcements from the football stadium in the high school right here. So the football stadium noise you're going to hear in Moultrie Creek and Shady Brook, most likely Water's Edge, and then you go north of the town square and you got all the turnpike. Is there a good spot in the Eastport area to live? That's the question. Maybe the spot is Long Prairie right here, Long Prairie. But you probably are going to hear announcements from the high school. And this goes back to the point I'm talking about in the villages. You have to look long and hard to find a good spot, because there's usually something going on that you haven't thought about. And that's what I found when I was hunting for a pre-owned home in the north. Just when I thought, oh, I found a perfect spot, perfect location. Oh, there's this noise, there's that noise. There's a landfill you have to worry about. There's a wastewater treatment. There's a water treatment facility. There's an electrical substation. It took me a long time to find a place in the villages, and it's still not 100% exactly where I want to be. One of the flying YouTubers said the area next to LaGrange Rec Center will be veranda homes. First, I had heard that. Really? Well, somebody told me they were going to be courtyard villas. It's not on the map. I keep looking for the map. So they're saying that this area here, but do you want to be wedged in by the LaGrange Rec Center and the baseball fields? I'm not even sure I'd want to live there. Too close to the baseball fields for me. I don't know. So they say they're going to be verandas. Let's see. Let's see if we can find amortization schedules for LaGrange. They hide them. The villages are starting to hide them, Moultrie Creek. So, LaGrange, you're going to be looking at LaGrange. It's possible. I heard they could be courtyard villas, is what I heard. LaGrange is going to be like 197-ish. LaGrange, 195. So there is LaGrange Veranda Homes South. That is for sure. Can you see this? So the LaGrange Veranda Homes South is going to be here next to the Blanchard Rec Center. Those are LaGrange Veranda South. So what is here is the question. Yeah, I agree with that, Jeff. I think south of Eastport, and cross your fingers that you don't get too much of the high school football field noise. Am I unhappy? No, I'm not unhappy. I think I live a little bit too close to County Road 466. I'm not unhappy. No. Hi, Craig and Nicole. How are you? Although I'm not happy, I'm just saying, JLo, that I don't think there's a perfect neighborhood. There's always something, there's always something, there's always some issue with any neighborhood in the villages. There is no perfect place to live. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, that's what I agree with, Prophet. I live actually fairly close to the high school on County Road 466. And I could see the lights and I could hear the announcements. And generally speaking, it was Friday nights and Saturdays. And for me, it wasn't bad. So I know all about the high school announcements because I heard it for 3 years living in the north. Oh, no worries, Craig the Sailor and Nicole. You're downsizing and packing. Okay, so I was going to go to the villages bonds. And they bury these. I have to open up every one of these. So here we have this unit 198V, 197V. So 197 is designer homes. What is 200V? So you kind of hunt and peck to find them. So LaGrange is 195. So 195. These are going to be actually LaGrange Veranda South, 47,934. And I believe those are these homes right here. LaGrange Veranda South, I think are going to be here based on the Vans maps. And Vans does not have this area identified. William Vans. He doesn't have this area identified. That's why I can't figure out what it is. So this is going to be unit 195. I'm thinking maybe unit 194. No. And then you have 166. 166. This is that mysterious neighborhood that I think are cottage homes. That's unit 166 in LaGrange. 166. Then you have 169. That's a designer home neighborhood. What's 165? 165 is designer homes in LaGrange. What's 164? Edenfield Veranda South. So here, 46,000. So Edenfield Verandas. So it's not identified. I don't know what this green patch is going to be. Somebody told me courtyard villas. No, you just told me veranda homes. Who knows what that could be? But you're going to have a few homes with the view. And it's going to be a desirable neighborhood, whatever they are. People don't care about the rec center or the postal center. People don't care about the softball fields. All they care about is if they're really close to the town square. Everybody wants to live close to the town square. But I think you could even argue that some of these neighborhoods are too close to the town square. people are interesting. When they buy homes in the villages, they all want to be next to that town square. What? VFM, we are gonna rent until we can look around a little. Yeah, I would recommend you look around for sure. Look around and look around at night when you can hear the noise, because noise travels at night. During the daytime, usually it's windier in the daytime. Usually there's other activities going on in the daytime, and the noise is kind of distorted. Go there at night and listen. Park your car, turn the engine off. That's what I did in St. Catherine when I was looking at buying a home in St. Catherine. I went down there, I turned the car off, and I listened, and I could hear the turnpike really, really clear. When I was there during the day, I couldn't hear it that clear. But at night, I could hear it loud and clear. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Welcome to the live stream. Oops, my message should have said I would like to get settled down. The bond in 165. The bond in 165. 165. They're designer homes in LaGrange. 47,934. And that's a reasonable amount for a designer home. Normally they're in that 48, 49, 50, 51,000. I see them starting to creep into 51, 52,000. So $47,000 bond in LaGrange, and that is going to be right here. That's these designer homes right in the middle in LaGrange. This is 165 right in here. But if I'm looking for a designer home, I'm looking in here. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking right here. I'm probably buying this lot right here, maybe not on this busy street, but I'm going to probably buy this lot right here. No, this is kind of a busy street. I'm probably looking at buying a lot like this one, or like this one right here. I'm buying in unit 197V. That's where I'm buying. If I'm a designer home, I'm in 197V. I'm buying this bond right here. 48,510. That's what I'm doing. If I'm in a designer home, that's what I'm doing. I'm buying in this neighborhood. Because of these $1 million homes on the perimeter, they're going to increase, or they're going to put upward pressure on holding your home values. I think your designer home values are going to be much better in this neighborhood than pretty much any other neighborhood in the villages. I think this is going to be the next Bridgeport at Lake Sumter type of neighborhood. Only you're going to have designer homes in here as well as premier homes. You know the rule of real estate. You always want to own the least expensive home in the most expensive neighborhood, because that holds your home value. That's what this neighborhood is. This is going to be one of the most expensive neighborhoods because of the premier homes on the perimeter. But you want to own a designer home in here. It's the #1 rule of real estate. You always want to hang out with the expensive homes, even though your home is not expensive, because it holds your home value better. This is the neighborhood. This is one of the only neighborhoods that I think is going to be like that right here. I thought Water's Edge was going to be that way, and it still might be. But I think this is your neighborhood if you're a designer home. Final answer. Where are we? Yeah, don't rush. Hi, Nancy. Yep, J-Lo, thank you. I heard a couple of sinkholes. I heard that. Where are the sinkholes in Well Point? Do villagers own sinkhole insurance? Hurricane insurance add-on? No flood. Well, sinkhole insurance is different than catastrophic ground collapse. So all Florida homeowners insurance policies, and you can double check this with your insurance agent, but all Florida home insurance policies come with catastrophic sinkhole insurance. That's different than, or catastrophic ground collapse insurance. All policies in Florida, catastrophic ground collapse insurance. You can buy an insurance rider for sinkhole, and they tend to be expensive. And some people buy them, some people don't. Morning to take a 50-minute golf cart ride. So let's look it up. Let's look at catastrophic ground collapse versus sinkhole. So use this tab. So these are his catastrophic ground collapse versus sinkhole. A sinkhole is a general term. Loss activity. Is a subset of sinkhole damage, the most extreme form with strict legal requirements for coverage. So that's the thing. Your catastrophic ground collapse has more stricter rules in order to get a payout. Sinkhole can apply earlier, less severe stages of sinkhole coverage. And that's why the sinkhole insurance is more expensive, because you don't have to meet such strict requirements. Sinkhole coverage versus catastrophic ground collapse. And I believe all Florida insurance policies have the catastrophic ground collapse, but it's more stricter. It's harder to get reimbursed. Florida is famous for threats. Your Florida's homeowners policy includes catastrophic ground cover, but is that the same as sinkhole insurance? The answer is no. What are sinkholes? Sinkhole warning signs? With so much at stake and so much sinkhole, the answer is sometimes. As of 2000, all home insurance policies must include something called catastrophic right here. All in policies have the catastrophic, which includes some but not all sinkholes. To comprehensively cover sinkhole damage, you would have to purchase a sinkhole insurance rider at additional cost. So that you need to know that. All insurance policies have catastrophic, but you have to buy sinkholes separate. The two terms sound interchangeable, but there's one big difference when examining sinkhole versus catastrophic. As with most insurance complaints, rampant fraud and abuse, blah, blah, blah. Okay, catastrophic ground collapse coverage included in your, okay. However, you must meet 4 requirements. This is it. 4 requirements for the abrupt collapse of ground cover, a depression in the ground clearly visible to the structural damage to the insured building, including the foundation. So if you have a sinkhole in your front yard and it doesn't damage the foundation, it's not going to be covered under catastrophic ground collapse. It would be, I believe it would be covered under sinkhole coverage. The insured structure being condemned. This is the big thing. Your home has to be condemned in order to be vacated, in order to collect under catastrophic. You don't have to have your home condemned for coverage under sinkhole. All four conditions must be met for catastrophic. I know some villagers buy the sinkhole and some don't. I did buy it the first couple of years. And then when I switched insurance companies, they quoted me an exorbitant price for the sinkhole, and I decided not to buy the sinkhole. A sinkhole insurance covers structural damage to the insured building, including the foundation caused by sinkhole. A sinkhole is defined as settlement or systematic weakening of the earth resulting from movement of soil, sediments. Because sinkhole policies cover a greater number of claims, they are much more difficult to find. In fact, Florida sees so much sinkhole activity that many insurers do not issue sinkhole coverage. Often apply deductibles of 10% or more. Yeah, that's what I found, is that the deductibles are huge. You end up paying like the first $25,000, and after that it was just like, does it even pay to buy the insurance? The differences between them are clear. Sinkhole insurance much broader than catastrophic ground collapse, making it much easier for crooks to abuse, as always, causing premiums to skyrocket right there. But it does ensure that in most cases where your home is directly over a major. And that's the thing. Catastrophic ground collapse is if the ground falls away underneath your home is condemned, the foundation is damaged, you're going to get reimbursed under catastrophic. But if you have a sinkhole in your front yard, your home is not condemned, it busts up your driveway, but it doesn't affect your foundation, you're going to have to repair that driveway on your own. It's not covered under catastrophic. So there you have it. So you have to decide on your own if you want sinkhole coverage or not. You're automatically going to get catastrophic ground collapse with your policy. Yeah, that's what happens in most sinkhole issues, is the sinkholes, even in the north, most of them occur in and around a retention pond. That's how they are in the north. And usually it's due to, they usually put a liner, like a rubber liner in the bottom of the retention ponds. Sometimes that rubber liner deteriorates or is damaged, and the water seeps through it, and then it causes a ground collapse. That's usually what happens, even in the northern part of the villages. Let's see where the sinkhole is. I saw the article. Can't even get to this one. And most of the time they are, oh, where is it? Corbin Trail. Who is this? Again, it's right off a Gulf Car Path, Russo Run, Corbin Trail, Russo Run, Well Point, Corbin Trail, Russo Run, Well Point. Where is Russo Run? Corbin Trail, Russo Run. I'm just trying to see where it is. Oh, right here. It's got to be this retention pond right here next to the Street of Dreams. It's up by the Street of Dreams. So I think it's, share this, Rooster Run and Corbin Trail. So I think it's one of these. How embarrassing is that for the villages, is that the retention pond next to the Street of Dreams had a sinkhole. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, that's what happens in the north. It's like one day all the water in the retention pond goes away. And this looks just like what happens in the north. But the problem is when the water goes away, there's usually fish in there and algae, and it starts smelling it. The smell is outrageous. And then all those neighbors that buy homes around that retention pond complain because of the smell, because it takes a long time usually for the villages to correct that. It might take 6 months for the villages to fix that issue. I'm looking at the Michael Drive, Corbin Trail and Michael Drive. So I think it's somewhere up in here. Yeah. What is it? This one up here? Corbin Trail and Michael Drive. But anyway, the villages will fix it. They're used to it. Hello, Becky Forbes. How are you? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, it's near the Street of Dreams. What else is new? Hi, Becky. Hi, JLo. Hi, Becky. How long he been live? I started my live 48 minutes ago, Becky. You're late. You're tardy. You're going to get demerit points for being late. It's the middle pond. It's the pond that the Street of Dreams homes is around. These are Street of Dreams homes. Right here. It's the middle pond. So the pond the Street of Dreams homes are on had a sinkhole. Wow. That has to be embarrassing for the villages. Wowsy dowsy. That's impressive. That is super impressive. That has to be super embarrassing. If it's this one. You're going to see a lot of that. I'm just warning you, everyone. There is a lot more retention ponds and a lot more water in the southern part of the villages than there is in the north. So get ready. Look at all the water down here. You're going to see a lot more of that in the southern part of the villages. And these things will get fixed using your maintenance assessment fees. And because there's a lot more water, a lot more retention ponds in the south, these sinkholes will get fixed with maintenance assessment fees. Some people think that the maintenance assessment fees living in the southern part of the villages are going to go higher than in the north, because there's more water to manage, more wetlands. Look at all the water down here. Just look at all the golf course water. You don't see all this water in such a concentrated area in the north. You just don't see all this water. Look at all the water down here. Look at all the water here. All the water here. A lot more water in the southern part of the villages. This is district number 15. Another reason I'm holding back on buying a home down there. I want to see see what it's going to be like. But I heard rumors when they started developing the Eastport area. I heard rumors that there's a lot more wetlands and water down in this part of the villages. And I heard rumors through the grapevine that people are worrying about their maintenance assessment fees going higher to manage and maintain all this water. Part of that is fixing sinkholes. That's one of the biggest reasons that I'm holding off on buying down here. So that's, I'm gonna wait and see. 48 minutes about, I believe, about, yeah. Right now it's 52 minutes. It is the pond north of McNeil, just east of the Street of Dreams. Wow. Wow. That'd be the one pond that the villages would not want, because their marketing, sales and marketing is all about the Street of Dreams. If it's this pond here, the Street of Dreams homes are to the west. These are not Street of Dreams homes to the east of the pond, but to the west of the pond, these are Street of Dreams homes. That is an embarrassment of epic proportions. They're going to take customers through these Street of Dream homes. They're going to have retention pond views, and they're going to look at an empty pond. You can be reasonably assured that they're going to fix this pond as fast as possible. This is going to be the highest priority project, if it's in fact this pond, because it is on the Street of Dreams. They're trying to sell homes. They're taking people through these homes. Hey, take a look out the back of your home. You have a retention pond that has no water in it. It smells, the algae, the fish. Wow. Wow. If it's this pond right here, that would be the only pond in the villages that they would not want to drain. A lot of times, the sinkholes are a result of faulty piping in these drainage ponds. They have pipes that go in and out of these drainage ponds. They can pump water from one drainage pond, retention pond, to the next. And sometimes those pipes, at least in the north, a lot of those pipes were made of galvanized steel, and they have a lifespan of 20 years, and they rot and they collapse. And that is what causes a lot of these sinkholes. They're not really sinkholes. It's just a failure in their water management system. It's a failure of their pipe. And At least in the north, they were using steel pipes with a 20-year lifespan. I've done videos about this in the north, of sinkholes in the north, and most of them happen in and around retention ponds. A lot of them happen because the pipes fail. They essentially rust. But the answer is that they don't use metal pipes. They should be using, I don't know, ceramic pipes or something, composite plastic pipes. If they use those types of pipes, I think you'd see a lot fewer sinkholes in the villages. So I'm not sure if they're using galvanized steel pipes or not in the southern part of the villages, but something leads me to believe that they are still using them because of what we just saw there. I thought in this one video, I saw the pipes. If you look at this video, can I maximize the screen? How do I make this bigger? Yeah, here. So if you look in this video, yeah, those are the Street of Dreams homes right there. He's pointing, those are Street of Dreams homes. This is McNeil Drive. Oh, that's at the Wellpoint Postal and Rec Center. So it's right across the street from the Wellpoint Postal and Rec Center. I walked this path many times. Yeah, that's the Street of Dreams retention pond. Wow. Interesting. I'm trying to see if I can see any pipes. And if anybody lives down there, let me know if they're using steel pipes. As long as they continue using steel pipes in their water management system, you're going to continue to have these issues. That's bottom line, basically. What happened again? Okay, well, it's okay, Becky. We're not going to give you a demerit point. Yeah. That is the last retention pond they want to have a sinkhole issue with. Although people call it a sinkhole issue, it's probably most likely due to a failure in one of those underground pipes. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to get fixed quick. Trust me, it's going to get fixed really quick. Yeah, I'm sure he knows. He's in the know for sure. But the one to the east is certainly the one with the oh, so you're saying that the Street of Dreams pond is low, but this one to the east is empty? Yeah. So, and this one is affected because there's most likely a pipe running from the middle retention pond over to this east one. There's pipes running between all these retention ponds underwater or underground. And if they continue to use steel pipes, they're going to rot in 20 years. They have a 20 to 30-year lifespan. I've done several videos of sinkholes in the north, although to me, they're not really a sinkhole. It's a depression in the earth that was caused by a failure in the pipe, most likely. That's how most of them are. It's the one directly east. Thank you, Becky. It is not. Okay, thank you, Craig. Again, it's once they fix the pipe, it's no big issue. If it is a pipe, if it is caused by a pipe, who knows? No, I didn't figure that one out. Just stay another hour, Becky. I've been live for 1 hour and 1 minute. By now, everybody should be sick of watching my old wrinkly face and my crackly voice. What time is it? So, these retention ponds near the Street of Dreams are the last retention ponds the villages wants to have issues with because they're trying to sell homes. They are using the homes to the west of this middle retention pond. Those are Street of Dreams homes. And they all have retention pond views. I walk this area many, many times making videos. This pond here, they don't want problems with. This pond here, they don't want any issues with anything near the Street of Dreams. This is their crown jewel. These homes are their crown jewel. This is what they used to sell 3,000 homes a year with. So, but don't worry, don't panic. This happens all the time. In my opinion, it's most likely not a sinkhole. It's just a depression in the earth caused by a pipe failure. That's my guess. I could be wrong, but there's probably an 80% chance that's what it is. They'll dig it up, they'll repair the pipe, they'll put more water in it, and in 6 months, you won't even know what happened. But for the next 6 months, the people living around this retention pond are not going to be happy campers. Which leads me to ask you a question. Do you buy a home with a view of a retention pond? Yes or no? Leave it in the chat below. Becky, we missed you, Becky. Becky is tardy. This is the second time in a row you're tardy, Becky. Apparently you're not waiting. You're not sitting at home twiddling your thumbs waiting for me to go live, Becky. I get it. Anyway, final word on the sinkhole. Don't worry. It's a failure in the pipe or a failure in the rubber lining. The water hit the earth and you just kind of sunk a little bit. That's what happened, most likely. So I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. But there is a lot of water, a lot more water per square acre in the southern part of the villages in District 15. Even in District 14, lots of water in District 14. There's a lot more water in the south. It's just a known fact. A lot more water in the south. In Districts 13, District 14. And those sinkholes will be repaired with your maintenance assessment fees that you pay at the end of the year. Most likely. Most likely. Most likely. I always have to qualify things because the rules are somewhat inconsistent. Sometimes they pay for it, sometimes the developer pays for it, sometimes the developer makes the districts pay for it, and there's kind of always a haggling back and forth. So it's consistently inconsistent. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Craig. I think water retention view lots are awesome. Yeah, me. So would I. I would too. Yeah, set a reminder to your phone. Well, that's my fault, Becky. See, it's my fault because I don't have a set time. And I already told you several times on other live streams that I have an inherent fear of commitment. I don't like to commit to a specific day, specific time, because that way, if I don't show up, then I don't feel bad. But if I commit, saying every Sunday night at 7 o'clock, and if I don't make it, then I'll feel bad. But like I said, it's going to be Sunday night in Florida between 7 and 8 p.m. This is as much of a commitment as I can make. With that said, we did not buy a water view, but the Eagle Preserve makes up for it. Yeah. Well, you want peace and quiet. That's part of the reason you buy a view lot is for peace and quiet. You don't have a neighbor right behind you. You're not staring into your neighbor's lanai, or you're not staring at a block wall. You feel like you're in a zen. You feel like you're in a spa when you have a view site. You feel like you have elbow room. And I'm telling you, space is a premium in the villages. People are packed in pretty tight. And when you're a country boy from Wisconsin like me, who grew up in the woods, and then you retire to a small box surrounded by many other small boxes, you appreciate your peace and quiet. Your view of the water feature from your designer home lanai may or may not contain water. Correct. Nothing's guaranteed. You don't want a pond. Well, you're going to get more mosquitoes if you live near water. Mosquitoes can be ferocious in Florida in the summertime. So that's one negative of having a view site, a retention pond view. If you have a view of a golf course, you get a lot of golf course noise. That's probably one view I would not want, is a golf course view. I've already spoken to villagers who have golf course view homes, and they said, I'd never do it again. Too much noise on the golf course. They're either watering it, they're mowing it, it's day and night. I would not do a golf course view. I would do a retention pond view. I can't. I'm a commitment phobe. Yeah, bugs. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of mosquitoes around in the retention ponds. But I would not let sinkholes scare you away from retention ponds, because I know how most sinkholes around retention ponds form. It's due to a pipe failure most of the time. And very infrequently, if the sinkhole is in a retention pond, very infrequently, although there have been cases, but very infrequently does it affect the homes around it. I know of one case where the retention pond had a sinkhole and it caused damage to a home where they had to condemn it, but it's not often. Usually they are usually the sinkholes are isolated to the retention pond, and usually they don't affect homes. I wouldn't mind golf course. I am married to a retired golf pro. Kick out. I can see, Becky, true love after all them years. You're going to kick them out. Go play the yard plane. Oh my God. There you have it. How many years have you been married, Becky? That's what I want to know. How many? Hilarious. So don't freak out about the sinkhole in Well Point. Now, if the sinkhole formed underneath somebody's home, you might want to freak out then. But if they form in and around retention ponds, they're usually explained. Craig. Oh my God. Funny. 26 years. Congratulations. 26 years of wedded bliss. We are only about 300 feet from the golf course. Awesome. So things are moving and shaking. It didn't take too long for our first catastrophic failure of a retention pond in the southern part of the villages in Well Point. I thought it would take another year for that to happen, but welcome to your first. Trust me, it's not going to be the last down there. What else do you want to talk about? Hour and 12 minutes. It's time for me to go, don't you think? It was a good discussion again, though. I appreciate each and every one of you. And let me know in the comments of any video what kind of videos you want me to bring to you. Things are moving kind of slow in the villages with new homes and neighborhoods. Are the home sales slow? It just seems like it took me a long time to get some new content, like these cottage homes opened up. It seems like it's been forever since a new neighborhood opened up. And the newer neighborhoods that are opening up in LaGrange, the homes seem to be selling slow. Let me know in the comments, do you agree? Is LaGrange selling slow? Even the homes in Well Point and Oak Hollow, to me, they just seem to be selling slow. Are they slow? I have the pending home indicator turned on. So all the yellow dots are pending homes. Not many yellow dots, in my opinion. Look at here. I think this is a great neighborhood of designer homes. No yellow dots. Why are these homes not selling? It's getting to a point where I'm having a hard time finding content because there's no new homes. There's no discounted homes. Neighborhoods are opening up slowly. And when they do open up, nobody's buying them. Well, here they are. I guess they are. I don't know. You let me know what you think. Here's a Patio Villa neighborhood. I don't know. I don't know. Is anybody excited to live in Edenfield? Here, look at all these veranda homes. I would expect more yellow dots here. Lots of veranda homes still for sale there. This neighborhood, Oak Hollow Verandas North, lots of homes still for sale there. Why nobody is buying this veranda home, Monroe, east facing Lanai, quietest veranda home in the south, quietest street in the south. Why is nobody buying this home? This would be the home if I'm in the market for a veranda home. I think this is the one I'm buying because of the location in the quiet neighborhood. Is this too far away from Eastport? That's why people are not buying here. They think it's too far from Eastport. Everybody wants to be nestled in right next to Eastport until they actually live there, and then they're going to complain, oh, the band is too loud, and there's too much Gulf car traffic driving by because they're all trying to get to Eastport and they're all driving past my home. That's what you're going to face if you live near the town square. Everybody's going to be driving by your home. This neighborhood, nobody's going to be driving by your home except a couple of your neighbors. But I know everybody wants to live next to Eastport. That's why these veranda homes sold out, because they're close to Eastport. That's the reason. But people are not looking at the pickleball courts. They're not looking at the Woodlands Championship Golf Course. You're going to have people in there day and night. They're going to be laughing, telling jokes in the parking lot, slamming car doors. They're going to come to this rec center. They're going to walk their dogs day and night. That's what they do. They take their pets to these rec centers. They allow their dogs to walk around on the grass. They allow them to relieve themselves. They do not pick up after the dog. And then Tim walks into this family swimming pool and he wants to go swimming and rest and relax next there. And then he smells the results of the pets because the wind is coming from the west and going to the east. And that happens on every swimming pool in the villages. People are using these rec centers for dog parks. They're not picking up. And Tim sits next to the pool and he smells it because it's 115 degrees outside in the summertime. And do you know what happens when pets leave their things behind and it heats up to 115 degrees? It smells. I'm just telling you. So that is food for thought of the day. I don't know how I got on that, but I got on it. Oh, 20 years of marriage, 24 of being a Gulf widow. Really? No, I'm just a Gulf Channel. Awesome Gulf Channel. Does the birdcage keep the skeeters out? For the most part, I think so. I think, Jeff, it does. It helps. You know, nothing is foolproof. Anytime you open the door, sometimes you forget to close the door, the mosquitoes will get in. No, I'm still in the Far East. In March 18th, I will be back in the villages, raising cane in the villages. I wish yeah, I know, so do I. 50K bond, yes. The newness of Eastport will eventually wear off. I totally agree. Thinks that they are not selling because of the 50K bond and lack of shopping. I would agree with the lack of shopping and entertainment. I don't think people are dissuaded by the bond. I really don't. People, when they move to the villages, they spend like crazy. I really don't think the bond is dissuading them. Maybe the interest rates. What are mortgage interest rates? People spend. They don't care about money. Yeah, what are the interest rates? Maybe it's mortgage interest rates. What are today's rates? No, they're not going to give me the interest rates. What's today's rates? Please don't give me some goofy. Don't ask me for my name because I'm not going to give it to you. 32162. What the hell? Get started. Oh, we're not going to get started. So anyway, you have to answer a million questions. So I'm not going to look up the interest rates, but if somebody knows the mortgage interest rates, maybe the interest rates are Maybe the interest rates are holding them back, but it just seems to me that things are moving kind of slow in the villages. That's the way it seems to me. When I have a hard time finding content, then I know things are slow. And right now I'm having a hard time finding content. Housing market is very slow in most places. Okay. Yeah, maybe. 6.1%. Wow. Oh, I'm going to miss you, Becky. There's another YouTuber that already covers that. I don't want to take his thunder away. He does a good job. Get the hell off my lawn. I want quiet. That's where I am. That's exactly where I am. I don't know why they're not selling. I think it could be interest rates. I think just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Time of the year, everybody's underwater because they spent $50,000 on Christmas gifts. I think it could be the time of the year. It could be interest rates. I don't know. But generally speaking, villagers, they don't care about money. They just spend whatever. It's true. They don't care about money. It was about a month ago. 575. Oh, when I bought my first house back in what mid to late 80s, it was 9.25%, and I was happy. I got a low rate, 9.25%, 1989. Yes, I was happy. 9.25%. Awesome. It's because my brother bought a home like 5 years prior. His interest rate was like 15%. So 6% still isn't bad. You invited. I don't know. I typically the homes in the villages sell fast all the time. I don't know. It just seems slower to me. But anytime I say that, somebody else says, "No, they're selling really fast." If they were selling really fast, I would expect these designer homes in a really good location in Ocala to have more yellow dots or fewer black dots. I would expect these homes in Edenfield, these designer homes, to have more yellow dots. There's only what, 5, 2, 4, 6, 7 yellow dots in this designer home neighborhood right here in Edenfield. 7 yellow dots, and there are a lot more black dots. Edenfield, veranda homes, lots of black dots. I originally was going to say they're not selling fast because of location, but these homes in Oak Hollow, I think, are in a fairly good location. I don't know. Maybe they are selling fast. Who knows? And maybe that's why I started to do a couple of videos of Villages News, because I got no content. I have no content. I got the same when I bought my first house. Well, I'm going to try to do more. I actually have some realtors that are texting me, "When are you coming to the villages? I want you to do open house videos." So I'm going to try to do some when I get back in March. So I'm going to try to do more open house videos. I kind of miss doing them myself. I actually like doing them, but they're such a pain in the ass to do because anytime I got the camera going, then customers would come through and I had to stop the camera. I need to work it out with the realtors that I do the open house tours when there is no open house, or before or after, so there's no customers disturbing me. That's why I stopped doing them, because they just got too painful. I was spending way too much time. Sometimes it took me over an hour to video an open house because customers were always coming and going. I had to stop the camera. So if I can find realtors that will meet me before the open house so I can do it, that's what I'm going to do. But a lot of the realtors, when I proposed that, they said, no, I'm not going to come there early. I said, okay, apparently you don't want help selling your house. And then they turn around and say, oh, I can't sell this house. What can I do to help? What can I do to sell this house? I said, well, why don't you meet me a half hour early? I'll do a video and post it. Oh, no, I can't do that. So I stopped doing open house videos because of that. Oh, yeah. Meet them. Yeah, I tried doing that, Becky, but they refuse. Their schedules are so tight that they cannot meet me ahead of time. Sometimes maybe afterwards, but then 2030. Actually, that's when people are going to buy. 2030 is when Eastport is going to be popping. In 2030, the houses are going to sell so fast in Eastport, in the Eastport area, because everything is going to be up and going. Just look at me, for instance. In 2030, I would even consider buying in Eastport, but I'm not going to consider buying it now because there's just nothing there. I'm one of these guys, I can wait. And in 2030, that might actually be a perfect time to buy in Eastport, because everything should be up and rolling and everything will still feel kind of new in 2030. 2030 is when I might be moving down there. I'm not going to move down there now, though. No way. There's nothing there. No shopping, nothing. But in 2030, I would. Prima donnas. Yeah, I think Eastport's going to be awesome. It's going to be Lake Sumter South. I just think it's too soon to live there. There's just nothing there. Nothing there but dust. You're going to still have dust storms down there from building homes. Hello, Martha. I saw this house and was wondering what the dark green lines represent. Do you know? What house? What house are you talking about, Martha? When you're back I'd like to see a report on the Spanish Springs. Yeah, I'm going to go up to Spanish Springs, absolutely. I will, sure. You love living in the Eastport area. Oh, okay. Prices peaked and have been declining slowly. 6376 Party Path? What is that? 6376 Party Path. The Villages. Is it on the Villages website? Or is it through an MLS listing? Patty Path. 63. Is it a Villages listing or is it a multiple listing service listing? 6376 Patty Path. Let's try it. 6376 Patty Path. I think I found it. I found it. So this is a Mockingbird F model. Let's see the location. What the hell is this? Yeah. So it's got a northwest facing lanai. I believe this is a power substation. Do you mind the power substation in this green patch? Some people don't like living that close to a power substation right there. This is going to be in the village of Oak Hollow. So the power substation there. This is going to be a busy street. I think this is going to be a fairly busy street. This Denise Drive, you're going to have a lot of people driving by your home. This is a corner lot. So for me, being on what I think is going to be a fairly busy street and next to the power substation, for me, it's a no. So you're looking at what? A Mockingbird F? So Mockingbird F. Let's look for Mockingbird F for Denise. Mockingbird F. Mockingbird F model. And we're going to go to the villages. If you want a Mockingbird F, you got lots of choices. So this is discounted $399,500. So if you want a Mockingbird F, you've got this one at $416, south-facing lanai. You got this one at $420, south-facing lanai. They're not discounted. And then you're going to go over into Edenfield. You got a south-facing $425, $418, $417. If I'm a Mockingbird F kind of guy, I'm waiting for this home right here in Oak Hollow to go on sale. Or I'm biting the bullet now because this is, I think, going to be a pretty good location. It's a south-facing lanai, close to Blanchard. Let's see if there's anything south. Nope. So this is the one I'm looking at. I'm looking maybe possibly at this one. This is also south-facing lanai. I think these neighborhoods are going to be fairly quiet here in Oak Hollow. And then over here, I think it's a busy drive. Denise Drive is busy. You're next to the power substation. You also have to consider resale. I think these homes in Oak Hollow are going to hold their resale much better than this home here, my opinion. So let's take a look at this one. This is the Mockingbird F I would buy. 1966 square feet. Let's look at some of the pictures of this one. South-facing lanai. Oh, it has a block wall too. It's another reason I'd buy it, because it has a block wall. It has a kissing lanai, but at least there's a block wall behind it. Nice neutral flooring. You could play the waiting game and wait. Maybe it goes on discount, or you just jump in and buy it now. But that would be the one I buy. If I'm looking for a Mockingbird F, this is the one I'm buying. So that is it. What do you think of that? Okay, thank you. Yeah, maybe background light from the, yeah. The dark green lines behind the house on the street. The dark green lines on the house behind. Oh, this is a patio villa neighborhood. So This is a patio villa neighborhood. That's why this neighborhood is a little bit different coloring. No, actually, it's yeah, it's a patio villa neighborhood. So if you talk about these, this is patio villas. This is the Tim Patio Villa neighborhood right behind this home. So let's take a look at it. All right, there's your patio villa right there. So this is your lanai facing northwest, and then you have a patio villa, and you're going to have people on their side patio. They're going to be grilling out here. They're going to be drinking and laughing with their friends. So this is, you know, you're going to be able to see your neighbor on their side patio in this patio villa neighborhood. I like the color scheme in here, though. It's nice. Ooh, is that Lake Tan? I think I could live with those cabinets, actually. It's a nice home. I would seriously consider spending the extra $16,000 or $20,000 for the same model in Ocala over here. I'd probably be buying this one. I think I'm buying this one. It's just centrally located, easy access to the town square, easy access to Blanchard, Woodlands, centrally located, and it's going to be about $20,000 more, $21,000 more than this one. Or you play the waiting game and you wait for them to go on discount. It's possible. This one might actually go on discount someday. Let's see if this one has a wall in the back. Yeah, this one also has a wall. So that's another reason maybe to buy in the center, is that both of these homes have a block wall behind them. That's kind of nice for privacy. So that's it. I think I'm going to end the live stream. Awesome. Thank you, Tim, for your recommendation. I would choose the Sikorsky. Good night, all. Yeah, I'm going to end the live. Thank you, everyone. It's been an hour and 37 minutes. I will go live again next week, Becky, between 7 and 7:30, Sunday night next week in Florida. I will go live. I will commit to a 30-minute time window because of you, Becky. I'm committing because of you. 7 or 7:30, between there, I'm going live next week. That is it. That's your video for today. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. And feel free to share the video with anybody who feels interested. Take care. Peace out. Thanks for a wonderful